Hey, HR friends, welcome back. So we're in day 4. We're still in the 2-4 emotional sequence, and this first chart we're looking at is the big one, the 6.5 day. Now, in the middle here, you can see the 24-hour segment that we have with this little white rectangle. It's showing what we're going to talk about today. Now, this has been a pretty calm sequence. The 2-4 has been vanilla at best. I mean, there's not been a lot of agitation. There's not been a lot of elevation. And I promise you, in upcoming weeks, things aren't going to be down here in the 2 to 4 range. They're going to pop up into the 6 and 8 and above. And right now, we're trying to help you understand what this is. So when things get a little bit spicier here in the future, we're not caught off guard. And we kind of have an idea of what this is and how to stop ourselves from being defensively engaged without our permission or consent. You see, you definitely don't want to make things worse for yourself or the people you live with, because what good does that do? That just keeps the conflict going, which keeps the stress going. And the more stress we have to deal with, the faster we age, and the more likely it is we get diseases that are going to be even more unpleasant as we keep moving on in age. You get what I'm saying here? So Health Reconnected is trying to make you aware of all of the pitfalls and hurdles that we're going to experience. And the good news is this. Again, pretty vanilla here compared to what's coming, all right? So some third-person agitation, be careful with that. In the second 12 hours, a little bit of first-person agitation. Calm and steady. That's tomorrow's focus, calm and steady. All right, let's move on here. So now we're going to look at the objective portion of this. And I say it's the objective because this is what we're being tested on every day. Every quadrant of our body is connected to 2 different relationships. And when you add them all up, that's how our body comes together. So if you want a good, healthy, strong, balanced body, you got to have good, healthy, strong, balanced relations in the first person perspective or with your family, and in the third person perspective with society. Now, if these relationships are anything but strong, unfortunately, when these tests come, the electromagnetics don't really play too nice. So if you're out of balance with these frequencies, there's only one of 2 things that can happen with frequencies. There's constructive interference or there's destructive interference. And if you're out of balance with them, what this does is it does not allow your bodies to stay healthy. It actually takes the health away. So if you have any complaints or anything that hurts, we want you to document it. And then we want you to use our technology so that you can fine-tune and understand exactly what was causing your pain in that moment, what relationship you need to develop more, because I promise you, these frequencies are cyclical, meaning they are not going away. They're just going to come back a different day in a little bit different combination, but what we're supposed to be learning, that never changes. Balanced thought, first-person perspective, balanced thought, third-person perspective, and if it's balanced, it benefits us all equally. If your choices don't benefit all people and our world and our shared nations equally, unfortunately, there's going to be advancing damage happening. That's how this works, biofeedback. Okay, let's keep moving here. So this is the 24-hour segment we were discussing up there. This is the 24-hour segment, and we've blown it up, and we've added the time zone. So there's all 24 time zones. Doesn't matter where you live. All you need to do is select your time zone offset. So for Eastern time, that's -4. So we're going to go here. We got -5 in 10 seconds. This is going to cycle out. And what this does is, so once -4 is up here, this would be the time zone for Eastern time zone where I live. And then that's going to align these times. And I'm going to know at 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. there's going to be a little spike. And I'm going to know at about 1 p.m. there's going to be a spike here. That's how helpful this is. It's telling me when I need to be cautious, or everyone in the Eastern time zone needs to be cautious. And obviously, depending on your time zone, you're going to have a different time, but we're all going through the same testing. We're all going through the same agitations. So it's kind of cool to see that we're all on the same lesson plan here, but it affects us all differently depending on where we live. And then there's some other variables. When you get more into our website, we disclose that too. But for the most part, this is pretty easy stuff here as far as when to be aware of when it might be easy for things to get a little bit dicey, a little bit defensive, a little bit chaotic. That's what we're trying to avoid here. All right, so enough with the electromagnetics. Now we're going to flip over here and we're going to talk about the alignments tomorrow. So alignments are when two frequencies combine. So if all the frequencies are numbered. So it'd be like the 2-8 and the 2-8 aligning together at a specific moment in time. And as that's happening, it amplifies the frequency. So that's what we're trying to show you here. It's like two hands of the clock align. And as those two hands are aligned, things get stronger. So it's going to be easier for people to feel something if they're out of balance. If the frequencies are stronger and the frequencies are testing us, then what happens is it's easier for us to sense it if we're out of balance with it. Okay, so the first alignment we're going to talk about is this ME right here. It's a space alignment and it has to do with the left lower quadrant. Now, because it's a space alignment, we know it's a first person alignment. Space has to do with first person, time has to do with third person. And the color orange specifically has to do with immature females or daughters. Now, I don't know about you, but when I look around the world, if there was one relationship that I wish could get a lot better, it would be how we treat young women. From the beginning of time, they have not gotten a fair shake. If there's anybody that's been discriminated more in this world, I don't know who it is. It's women. And this is the sad thing. When you think about how we've treated women in the past and you say, well, we don't treat women that bad, we still don't pay them the same as we pay men. Women didn't have the right to vote in this country when it was first established. I mean, let's be realistic here. So this is kind of a big one for me. And if you want to make changes in society where things are going to get better, please understand that it's usually almost 9 times out of 10, it is the woman or the mother who are raising children. And if we are treating future mothers poorly, then why would we expect that we're not empowering them to be good mothers? And it's not their fault. How could it be? We're treating them in a way that makes it very difficult for them to understand what balance is because we've never treated them balanced. Now, this is a pet peeve for me. This is the area that if we really needed to pick up and start to put some effort into it, it's for all those young girls out there. They need to be treated right and respectfully, and that's all I'm saying about that for right now. All right, so let's move on here. Let's go to the next one. This is the ME. The ME in the time alignment is not dealing with daughters. This is going to be dealing with a worldview and with national views. Now, you can use our technology to get into what element of a worldview and what element of a national view, but I'm going to give you just a brief description here, okay? So if you're making choices, please be aware how you contribute to the nation and the world is taken into account by this system. When these frequencies come, the idea that you say, I'm not that big, I'm not that important, my choices don't matter. It's all of our choices when we add them together. That's what's creating the destruction in our nations and in our world. It's all the individual choices, and when we add those individual choices up, they become very powerful. So any individual that says that they're not powerful, they just don't realize how, if they can organize their individual choices with all the other individuals, unbelievable power. Power to change everything. That's what we're trying to help people do here too, is to come together in a motivated way so that we can make things better for future generations. And not just future generations. Would it be nice for it to be better for us? Absolutely. All right, so those are the two alignments. There's not that much going on tomorrow. This 3.5 hour one, people are probably going to feel that one. This first one we talked about, that's pretty short, okay? All right, let's keep moving. This is easy. 2 and 4. You see, here's the 2's in the green, 4's in the yellow, so we're dancing between green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow. Pretty much the same in all quadrants. Now, we're going to end this with just talking about macro position. And macro position is important because these are the strongest frequencies. And right now, we're kind of getting into a balanced state again. Yesterday, it got a little unbalanced to the left, and now today, it's kind of straightening itself out. Well, what do I mean? Well, look at, there are 4 macros positioned on the left, there are 4 macros positioned on the right, and then you've got an extra here on the left and an extra here on the right. So, yeah, pretty balanced. Meaning, now, if I had to be, if I was still in practice, I'm saying on the back, so at the below the shoulder blades, down to the low back. that's where I would expect a lot of people are going to feel stuff tomorrow. If you're going to feel it, it's going to be in the lower to mid quadrant range. But again, pretty vanilla day. All right. So we covered some new stuff. We talked a little bit more in depth about what some of these alignments mean and what we're going to have to start doing to balance our choices at every level. I hope you enjoyed that. I got nothing else here. Again, I hope everybody has a great day tomorrow and that these graphs and these charts are helpful. We'll talk to you then.